What's up, everybody? Welcome to today's edition of Everyday Discipline, where we decode, deconstruct, and reverse engineer self-discipline for you, yes, you listener, to get whatever it is you want in your life. My name is Brent Kokel, and I am your host. As always, I love it when you guys are here on the show with me. And again, it's what it says about you. Right? The show really, while I talk, I don't look at it as having anything to do with me. It's this message, and this message means something about you because it means you want something better with your life than what you currently have, regardless of how good your life is right now. Maybe you want to make more money. Maybe you want to have a better body. Maybe you want to have better relationships, better connection with God. Whatever it is that you want, you're here because you want that. I don't know if you recognize how rare that is. A lot of people won't even invest the 10 to 12 minutes that this podcast goes. Like, they won't invest that time in themselves. And you're here listening to this podcast, not because you like the sound of my voice, but because you want something for yourself. And maybe today's the day that I can give you insight in how you might get that. And that's really why I'm glad you're here on the show with me. And that's why I do these episodes. I think there's a lot of people that on this planet, and especially in the United States, that simply settle for the life that they've been given versus getting the one that they actually want. A lot of people do that, and I don't want that for you, so that's why I'm glad you're here today. This episode, by the way, is going to be a little more tactical than usual. Normal, I'll tell you a story, and then I'll link it up to a lesson that I learned and an application in my life, and I'll ask you a question. But this one, I'm going to give you an actual tactical framework when it comes to you seizing opportunities. Because opportunities are abundant out there, and they're there for you to seize them. And I'm going to share with you just a 3-step practical, tactical framework that you can use to capitalize on every single opportunity that's in front of you. This is going to be business focused because that's where we view opportunities. If there's an opportunity in your relationships and it's like you're single right now and you see somebody that you like, then take your opportunity, go over there and talk to them. All right, we're going to talk about business today. Still going to talk about a lesson, but then I'm going to link it up to a tactical framework of specifically how to capitalize on opportunities. So last week we took both of our kids, we being my wife, to the San Francisco Giants game. We live in Northern California, and we went down to San Francisco for the day. And it was a really great event in general. Like, we went and we parked in the city called Vallejo, and we took a ferry. So we took a boat over. You see Alcatraz, you see the Golden Gate Bridge, you see the Bay Bridge, you land at the ferry building, you walk along the water up to the stadium, which is also on the water. And this was just a great day because they were playing hooky from school too, so they loved this thing. It was a day game. So 12:45 was the first pitch. So before that, we got there and we went to the Giants dugout store and got kids new hats and everything. And then before the game, we needed some lunch. We didn't want to go into the ballpark yet because it was still noon and it would have been a lot of time. And there's this place with awesome nachos that is in the building, but it's just outside of it. Like, you didn't even need tickets to the game. You could go into this place called the Public House. So we were going to grab lunch at the Public House before the game. And we walk in there, and as you can imagine, pre-game, this place is packed, like wall to wall, almost like College Bar packed, where you're just like, excuse me, pardon me, like when you're walking by, there's wall to wall people. Every single table was filled. Every single seat at the bar was filled. And there were people standing everywhere. And they're engaged in conversations, or maybe they're looking around. And we thought at that point, like when we walked in, we thought like, well, maybe we should go into the stadium. Maybe we should just eat there. They've got a lot of good choices at the ballpark itself, but they don't have the nachos that they have at the Public House. So we decided, listen, we are going to stay here. But this place, like I said, had really great nachos. We had to do it. What we did was we kept our heads on a swivel and we were looking around, right? That's what I decided to do. We're looking around everywhere, and boom. 4 minutes later, table, perfect, table for four. Here's the lesson, guys, and we will get to this tactical framework here in just a second. Opportunities are always there when you keep your eyes open, even in a crowded market. Opportunities are always there. You just have to keep your eyes open, even in a crowded market. And I look at that Public House as a crowded market. What the market was demanding was beer and nachos and burgers, because that's what they sell. And it was packed, but there was an opportunity no matter what. There was an opportunity for me to get a table. One of the things that my wife and I always say to each other is that we're next up, right? We don't care if that's a parking space in the mall at Christmas time, or if it's in a packed restaurant or bar like this one was. We're looking for the opportunity. Our eyes are constantly open for the opportunity. And we say that we're next up. It's not going to take that long. We do that as a state of optimism. And guess what? Always works out. We always find a parking space. We always find a table. Like, it always works out. So let's get down to the tactical framework of what we do. And then you can use this in your own life. Primarily, this is about business. But if you want to see an opportunity in another domain of your life, body, being, or balance, go for it. This is primarily about business. So the first thing, all right, and there's three parts of this framework. The first thing is you have to know what opportunity you're looking for. You can't just go around blind thinking like, oh, well, an opportunity is going to come up. Maybe it's going to be something I'm interested in, and therefore I will take advantage of it if I see it. You have to actually know what it is you're looking for. So in our case here, what we were looking for very specifically was a table for 4 people. Me, my wife, my daughter, and my son. We needed 4 people to be able to sit at this table. So that was the opportunity we knew that we wanted. Now, we didn't care if it was inside or if it was outside, because there's a little outdoor area at this table with probably like 15 tables at it, which is where we ended up finding this one. But we knew the specific type of opportunity. We didn't know where exactly it was going to come up. That's it. We didn't know where it was going to come up. That's not really what we cared about. We knew what opportunity we needed to find, which was that we needed to find a table for 4 inside or outside. So how does this relate to something that you might be looking at in business? Like, let's say that you're looking for a way to pull 10% more profit out of your existing revenue. That's awesome. Very, very similar to us looking for our opportunity, which was a table for 4. You would now know your opportunity, which is to pull 10% more profit out of your existing revenue, meaning your existing customers have some way of getting another 10% margin, either through increased prices, better operations, and more efficiency. A number of different ways you can pull this off. And so you might look at it that way, knowing that that's your opportunity. That's just step 1 to figure that out. It doesn't matter where it comes from. It might come from one unit of your business. It might come from another unit of your business. I don't know where it's going to come from, neither do you. But that's not what you need at that stage. You simply need to know exactly what it is you're looking for. 10% is very different than 15%. You look for it differently. If I needed a table for 5, I would have been looking differently. But I was looking for a table for 4. So part 1 is know the opportunity you're looking for. Part 2, let's move on. You have to look for the signs that the opportunity is going to be available to you. You got to look for the signs. There are precursors to every single opportunity. They let you know they are coming. Kind of like you know a tsunami's coming because there was an earthquake in the middle of the ocean. We know that. We know there's a tsunami coming. So that's a sign. That's a warning. In that case, it's a warning about something very terrible, but there are warning signs about good things that can happen to you as well when you're looking for your opportunity. You have to keep your eyes open for those as well, because those will tell you exactly what it is that has your opportunity coming. Take me back to the public house earlier this week, and what I was looking for when I was looking for my 4-person table opportunity was I was looking for people in a couple different contexts. One was they were done with whatever food that they were eating and their drinks were down to the last couple of sips. That would tell me, hey, maybe this person is leaving pretty soon and that's going to open up my opportunity to get to where I want to go. Maybe that's going to do that for me. Okay, great. That helps me understand it. The other type of person I was looking for was somebody who was signing their check, like signing their check, paying their tab at the restaurant. I was looking for that as well because that's a precursor to the opportunity, which is, dude, they're leaving, which means that that table is going to be open very, very soon. That's what needs to happen when you recognize that the opportunity is going to be available. You got to look for the signs. So let's say that we're back in this whole like looking for your 10% profit off of your existing revenue, and that's your opportunity. Well, you might have some legacy software or system that's a platform that nobody's used in a year, but somehow you're still paying $1,500 a month on it. Like that's a sign that tells you like, oh, maybe that's a place where we can pull some extra profit out. Now, $1,500 a month probably isn't going to get you your extra 10%, depending on what size of company you have. But the point is, you've got to exercise what the warning signs might be that your opportunity is somewhere close. But you're not going to know unless you look for signs. There's an investigation that happens. In the business context, there's got to be an investigation of like, what systems and software are we currently using? Because I don't know about you, but there's a lot of times where I'll buy something in a software or a system that's on a recurring revenue model and we'll pay for it for years after there's any utility for us. Not because we're stupid, just because we forgot. So there's that. You've got to be able to see that. So that's our first and second piece. First piece, you've got to know the opportunity you're looking for. Second piece is you have to look for the signs that the opportunity might become available to you. Third piece is going to seem really, really like standard, but it's not, because most people don't do it, which is that you've got to jump on it when you see it. That's the third piece of the framework. Jump on the opportunity when you see the opportunity. So in my case, what I found was I found a guy that was signing his check and drinking his last couple of things of drinks. And there was a table for 4, which is he was sitting in that with one other person. And so as they are standing up, because you can see them stand up and I'm eyeballing them the whole time, we start to walk towards the table and put out this like warning signal to everybody else out there. Like, that's our table, don't you jump on it. We started going before anybody else got close. So we actually got to the table while they were still sitting down, but just about to stand up. And you just say, like, hey, can we have this table when you leave? And they're, of course you can. So we acted on it, and therefore we seized the opportunity. Now, what's that mean for you in business? What it means is it means to strike while you're thinking about it, or else you're going to forget. There's so many things coming at you on a daily basis. It's the chaos of abundance. So many things competing for your attention, so many things competing for your time, that if you see an opportunity in this 10% profit on existing revenue scenario, then you've got to take advantage of that and act right away. If you don't, you might find yourself either one, justifying why you still might need to use that system or software in the future. 2, you might simply forget. So you've got to take action once you recognize that the opportunity is there. So those are the 3 things, guys. I'll repeat them one more time for you in case you're taking notes. And if you are taking notes, good for you. Like, I really appreciate that if you're taking notes on this thing. So the first thing is you've got to know what opportunity you are looking for. Have that defined in some way, shape, or form. 2, look for the signs that the opportunity is going to be made available to you. And 3, once you see it, you must act on it. So this is normally the part in the show where I would give you a call to action and make you ask yourself a question. Instead, what I want to do is, instead of a question, I want you to just use this 3-part formula to identify, and this is the next 24 hours, identify what opportunity you are looking for. Then make a short list. I'm talking maybe 5 to 10 things that are signs that the opportunity might be available to you. Do those 2 things, because the third thing, once it becomes evident, you know what you got to do. You got to act. You can't just sit there. It's not going to come to you. You've got to take the action. That's what I want you to do in the next 24 to 48 hours, but there's something else I want you to do. If you got something out of this episode, if you felt like this story and this tactical framework was useful to you and you think it might be useful to somebody else, I'd like you to share this episode with somebody. You can share it if you're watching on YouTube, just hit the share button, text it to somebody else. If you're listening on any of the audio-only platforms, all you've got to do is hit the little 3 buttons, come up with a link to the show, copy it, paste it into your text messages, and send it to somebody you think might benefit from this. You know somebody I don't, somebody who doesn't listen to the show. If you think this message can help them, please do them the favor and share it with them. It would mean the world to me if you did it. So thank you in advance if you're somebody that is going to do that here with today's episode. But as always, act for yourself. Like, take the actions that I gave you for yourself, because it means that you are going to go forward. You are going to get something in your life that you are looking for. All right, guys, that is it. That's the show for the day, everybody. I'm going to do my job and come back next time. I want you to do your job, and you come back too.